So welcome back to Let's Talk About That. Today we're at Wellfield and we have Eric Garton. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. We're outside.
We're outside
in November, and
in
it's
November,
not raining.
And we have the proper attire.
That's right.
Right?
It's not so bad.
So let's talk about Wellfield. Sure. What is Wellfield?
Wellfield Botanic Gardens is a private not-for-profit that was started in 2005 by the Elkhart Rotary Club. Mm-hmm. It was actually created as a centennial project for Rotary International that was founded in 1905, and Rotary International asked all local clubs to think big, do something exciting for our 100-year centennial. And the Elkhart Rotary Club shot really big, and they asked their members and they asked the community to help build what you see around us now. And so this is a 36-acre property that is owned by the city of Elkhart and has been the source of Elkhart's water since the 1850s.
So what percentage of that
even now, the aquifer under the ground provides almost 70% of the city of Elkhart's water.
Wow, that's substantial.
And we are here, we operate a private not-for-profit on top of the ground. So we lease the land from the city of Elkhart. We actually took 36 acres of maintenance off of the city. So I live in Elkhart, just 3 miles from here. I love supporting Wellfield privately, but my tax dollars do not support our operations here.
Well, and that's the operations of the city. You guys are maintaining it.
That's right. This is something that we're helping. We have a lot of the same piece of our mission. You know, the city's job is to provide safe, reliable drinking water to the citizens of Elkhart. We have to uphold that mission as well. So whatever we do on top of the ground that might affect the aquifer, we have to be mindful of that. So it's a great partnership. We're a really cool partnership in that way. But I'm just really proud to be a part of something that is supported by the community.
So what led you to become in this position right now?
I made a big leap with my family moving out here from Southern California. I worked at another garden in Southern California, and I worked at a garden in Phoenix for about 10 years before that. I'm from the West, but I grew up wanting to be a biologist.
Okay.
And I was given the chance to be a biologist briefly. I was out in the woods literally counting squirrels and owls. I can do a pretty mean Mexican spotted owl call.
Is that useful here?
It is not so useful here. It is not so useful here. But
you still got it.
That's right. I still got it. I still practice sometime in the shower. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Only in the shower.
No one knows about that.
That's right. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
It was not until I got the chance to share a wild animal with someone, like a camper. We didn't spend much time around people, but when I got the chance to share, it was a goshawk chick with a camper in the area. It's a live bird. It was like this. It was like a bowling ball, and it's a little chick. That is where I realized that as much as I loved running around the woods, it was really connecting people with their environment that got me the most excited. And that's when I found the opportunity at a botanic garden, and here we are 23 years later, and I'm leading Wellfield with an amazing staff, a board, volunteers that are just so crucial to what we do, and of course a community that has supported and built this space through private funds.
So what's it look like to operate a botanical garden? Some people may not really understand what a botanical garden
and a lot
is.
of people, when they think botanic gardens, they think plants.
Plants,
and
right.
so I do a lot of outreach. I love getting into schools to talk to classes on career days and things like that. We're a business, like a lot of other businesses. We just operate a little differently, and that whole not-for-profit doesn't mean that we don't pay our bills.
Right.
We just have to make as much money coming in as we spend going out. And for us this year, that was about $1.1 million. We have a staff here of about 20 total people, but not as many full-time equivalents. And again, the support of our volunteers is amazing. Last year, our volunteers reported over 6,000 hours that they gave. And that's in every part of the garden. So from out here pulling weeds in the spring and the summer to working in our administration office and our visitors cottage. We have volunteers on our board who are so helpful with fundraising and helping us with that vision in the garden.
But just different levels of expertise.
That's right. And having that real diverse core group of volunteers is just so helpful. So we earn money throughout the year in a bunch of different ways. So I kind of think about it as a pie chart. Holiday Lights, coming up here in just a little bit, that is about a quarter of our annual revenue. It's a pretty big chunk. It's a little scary having something that's dependent on the weather and outside.
But people look forward to it.
That's right. And we have about 20% from annual memberships that people support. We have sponsorships for events. We have annual partnerships where people will just support us through operating dollars, and we provide some benefits.
And then you also offer like corporate events as well.
That's right.
Right.
So
and all of that's still money that goes back.
That's right.
Into the nonprofit.
That's right.
Nonprofit.
So all of that makes up that $1.1-ish million for 2023. And we've got to keep our expenses within that. And it is just like any other business. There are times when you're making hay, and there are times when things are tough. And obviously with the economy, especially in Elkhart, that can be ups and downs.
It's a roller coaster, right?
We try to provide a diversity of opportunities and trying to make sure that we're not dependent so wholly just on one aspect of our revenue.
So how do you combat against that when, a lot of businesses right now are feeling some of the squeeze?
Right.
And for a nonprofit, how does that look like in that picture?
Again, for us being a not-for-profit with we have 4 parts to our mission. So we want to make sure people understand how important water is to life. We want to be a place that inspires lifelong learning. We want people to be stewards for the environment. And my favorite part is growing community. So that's where we're really able to help in some times where other industries aren't doing as well. We actually partner with a lot of other not-for-profits. And during Holiday Lights, for instance, we actually have a program called the Giving Tree Project. And so each night we actually partner with a private not-for-profit, and we give a portion of ticket sales to that organization, giving it back to them, which allows them to hopefully do their job and their mission in the community better.
So it's more than just a nonprofit. It's actually giving back into the bigger cause, more impact, right?
We are very fortunate. And you asked about, in terms of talking about how we're able to weather some of those storms. When things get tough, COVID was a great example. COVID was something that it actually, in some ways, we benefited by being a safe space that was out of doors. That was a pretty good year for us. And in the years since COVID, and when the economy gets down, we're also a place that provides peace and it provides beauty. And I think everyone needs that in their lives. They need to feel that connection to nature. And we're a place that can do that year round. And working with, say, the Community Foundation of Elkhart County, they actually help subsidize free admission Tuesdays for Elkhart County residents. So we provide free admission on Tuesdays during our season, and then in our winter months we actually provide that on Sundays. So it's that sort of, I think, giving back and understanding that Wellfield can be something bigger than dollars in, dollars out.
Right.
Because we know that, admission, we do charge admission, and we encourage people to buy memberships. Admission actually only accounts for a very small portion of our revenue, less than 7%. But for those who aren't able to afford that or might have bigger families, coming on free admission days is wonderful to see that. I love
so
that.
There's another aspect to this too, because I've been here quite a few times, and there's a lot of, I would say, the regulars. This is their space to get away. And like, are those like typically your members, or sometimes are they also volunteers as well?
We have volunteers in the garden every single day, literally every day.
What's the quantity of people?
Probably
roughly
in terms of volunteers, it might be a couple dozen on a work day. When we have events, It's a whole lot of
kicking
volunteers.
It up, huh?
Taste of the Gardens, that fourth Sunday in August, that event is wholly volunteers. There's a very few staff.
Well, and then you also have like your Jazz Fest.
Yeah.
Open out. That's a big deal.
Yep. Our concert series has been great. It gives people a chance to come out in a very different environment.
And get an experience, right?
That's right. And just be able to enjoy
each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
The weather's beautiful. You can come out and listen to some good music. And really for us, those are also opportunities for us to engage with the community, with our members. Our members throughout the year, they account for about 25,000 visits a year. We have over 2,000 member households, so we don't, not counting individuals. About 80% of those are in Elkhart County. We actually recently did a little statistical analysis, and about 20% of our members come from St. Joseph County.
Oh, wow.
So we're making that, we're getting beyond Elkhart in terms of our reach. And while we still want to be Elkhart's local treasure, we want to make sure that we provide a benefit to the region as well. And so getting into southwestern Michigan, and for Holiday Lights, we actually track zip code data for those people who purchase tickets. And we had over 30 states represented here at Wellfield last year.
So what's that look like marketing-wise to look at? Because I know you have to, because this is a point of interest.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? What's that look like, try to gather people towards your venue?
I think for us, we also look at ourselves as something that can help Elkhart County. We can help the area and help the community be an economic driver. So partnering with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, I mean, we know that we're one of those things that they can help draw people to this county. And so when they want something promo shot out here, or if we can provide photos of beautiful spaces to come, doing tours for groups that are seeking destination managers and things like that, we're very happy to do
I think there was one, someone was shooting a short film of Elkhart, and this was a venue.
This was one of those spots. We get a lot of requests for those. You mentioned photos. I can't tell you how awesome it is to see all the graduation photos and the quinceañeras and just so many wedding photos, all kinds of things. And it's all with the background that you see here.
So let's talk about that. Yeah. What's going on behind us here?
So this is just one of our, it's one of the more popular features.
Right.
We call this the rain tree.
The rain tree.
And I don't know, it just seemed to make sense. This is thousands and thousands of lights wrapped around this big, beautiful oak tree. And
seamlessly.
There you go. You don't miss it. We really try to have focal points like this throughout the garden. So our holiday lights started in 2017 with a modest 200,000 or so lights, and now we've promised every year, and thanks to our sponsors and those who continue to come and have made this a tradition, we're at 1.4 million lights this year.
Wow.
And every year we do things different. So there's ways we can mix it up, but also we're adding the children's garden this year. So we've not had anyone ever walking through the children's garden. This will actually feature it.
Well, and the children's garden is kind of special.
Yeah.
It is. It's layered. It has character to it.
It does.
Lots of character.
It's got a lot of, I like the texture.
Yeah.
You get a walk around the boardwalk, and we've got the water feature, which is not running this time of year, but you've got the water feature, you've got these beautiful, whimsical little structures.
Will there be lights through there?
There will be lights in different places throughout the children's garden.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
We've lit a couple trees that, of course, we've never done any lights in there before,
right.
But the pathways will be lit. We've got some uplighting on some of the large sycamore trees. The edges of the buildings are lit with these really cool lights.
Like accent lights.
They're going to be beautiful. I just love the oohs and ahs when people see something new for the first time, or if they've come before and they might just notice something new, or you get a photo in front of this thing. It's just awesome. I wish we should have brought a fire pit out here tonight, because
just a little bit.
The fire pit's Fire pits are a hit.
For the effect.
That's right. That's right.
And the warmth.
You go home, you got a little of that, smoke.
Get a little smoky, you've been outside,
that's
you lived a little bit.
Kind of the camping experience.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. But so when it's cold, those are appreciated. People go out and actually warm their hands.
Everyone's huddled around the fire pits.
It's a social experience.
So how many of those do you typically do?
I think this year we'll have 6 fire pits around.
So do you offer during the lights? Is it just a walkthrough? Do you have any other vendors that are out here?
We actually have. We work with Navarre Catering and Events, and they'll have a bar tent, so you can get
beverage.
You can get an adult beverage, or you can get a soft drink, water. They have hot cocoa, and of course they have things you can put in the hot cocoa.
Right.
It's it's good
to make it extra special.
It's an extra. It's something
some
for
warmer.
All. We've got something that warms you up.
Yeah,
that's right. We've got also a DJ who plays holiday music, and you hear it throughout the garden. It's really cool.
You get an amazing experience.
That's right.
When you come out here.
I love to. We've got a hospitality tent that people can rent, or businesses, families will come out, and you can actually have a heated space, bring out some catering, and it's just a nice way to get together.
So it doesn't shut down during the cold season. There's still opportunities.
That's right.
To come out.
That's right.
And still host an event.
This has been an event for us that's grown significantly since 2017. I think our first year we had about 7,000 attendees, and in this past year, in 2022, over 17 nights, we had 25,000 guests.
Wow.
And they came from all over. We start to, with family in town for the holidays, we start right after Thanksgiving. So it's literally Black Friday. We don't like to think of it as Black Friday. It's
pretty bright.
A very, 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 very bright and colorful,
it's pretty bright.
Friday after Thanksgiving. So for us, that's just the kickoff. And then this year, we're actually open a couple days after Christmas. We hedge our bets a little, having a few extra days. You never know what weather Northern Indiana
This Northern Indiana.
It happens. So we try to make sure we've got enough nights. Cool thing is, though, you buy your tickets, you can use them any night. You don't have to schedule nights. We did that during the pandemic, but we try to make it really easy. Members get a great discount on tickets, can make it very an inexpensive thing. It's a nice member benefit. And great gifts too for your family. Come purchase a batch of tickets and give them to friends. We love that. It's supporting a not-for-profit and giving people an experience that you cannot see in any other place around here.
So I'm glad you said it. So how do companies get involved? How can companies get involved and help out at the Botanic Garden?
Whether that's through sponsorship at various levels that we have and different benefits, or renting that hospitality tent. Think of having a staff party. We've got several businesses that have taken advantage of that over the past few years, and you can also have buyout nights that are not in our regular evenings, where you've actually got the entire garden to yourself.
Wow.
And so we turn on the lights, we put out some fire pits, and
so
you can
like
just
private
enjoy
event if they want to.
Yep.
So do you guys also offer, say, even volunteer, say they want to bring in their employees and help in the garden?
Absolutely. So we love groups coming in to volunteer. That's actually one of the pieces of the Giving Tree project as well.
Okay.
So when we're of course giving back a little bit of the tickets to the not-for-profit, we ask that they provide a few volunteers on the night of their tree. And of course the trees are out. I love it. They come and decorate trees themed for their not-for-profit, and it's just a lot of fun to see the creativity, and also it brings awareness at a time of year when a lot of other not-for-profits who don't have events like this or the opportunity to share what they do or the space.
Right.
This is a chance. And so we started this very small in the beginning, and I think it's become one of the things that our staff and volunteers really take a lot of pride in. And it's also created some great connections with other businesses and not-for-profits in town. Again, that's what we do. We are growing community.
Bringing everyone together.
That's what we want to do. That's right.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing today.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to get involved right now and come to Wellfield, what would be your best advice for them to take that next step?
I'd say the easy pathway is start online at wellfieldgardens.org. Can't go wrong there. Or stop in. Yeah. We're open this season. We have a sort of a fall season hours in November and December that we're open Tuesday through Sundays from 12 to 5. Stop out. We're still open on the weekends. You can come out, say hello to our visitors cottage staff.
Take a walk, right?
They can give you all sorts of information. Take a walk, purchase some holiday lights tickets. But of course, you can go online and grab those too.
Right.
And we love volunteers. We can't. I know a
They're
lot of not-for-profits are in need, and there's a lot of great places you can give your time out there. But we hope maybe you'll consider giving us a chance, because this is a special place and there's so many different opportunities. Again, it's not just pulling weeds. There's so much, and we want to make it a custom experience. And when people want to give of their expertise, we can find something that will help.
It's about bringing life back to the city.
That's right. That's right. That vibrancy is really important to us.
I love it.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you next episode.